So it's been 2 years since Mekk-Knight was considered a top tier deck in Duel Links, and in that time it's just been sitting there withering away on the Forbidden and Limited list. But finally, Konami's decided to free the entire archetype, except for the trap card, which, let's be real, is probably a good thing. They've freed the entire archetype from the ban list, and additionally, they also freed one of its very common combinations that used to be played in the TCG as well. Macabre. Invoked actually has a ton of synergy with Mekk-Knight, purely because Alistair on normal summon, if you link it away after searching for a spell card, you can just set that spell card, have that one link monster on the field, and you have 2 cards to create a column to summon any of your Mekk-Knights to the field. It's actually a really solid combo. The only problem is, we're currently in 2025, so does this deck still hold up in the current meta? Let's find out. So here's today's deck list. Just a reminder before I get to the deck list, if you guys are enjoying today's video and want to see some more content just like this in the future, or some more deck lists of me in the future, please remember to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Alright, let's jump into this deck list. Alright, so I'm going to speed through this deck list considering it's a pretty old archetype now. Most of you guys have probably seen Mekk-Knight before, especially considering it was a top tier meta relevant deck not that long ago. Okay, maybe like 2 to 3 years ago, but still, most of you guys have probably seen this archetype before, so let's jump into it. So for you guys that don't know, basically the Mekk-Knight cards, they basically summon themselves when your opponent or you have enough cards in the same column, 2 cards in the same column, they can summon themselves to the field, and that goes for all the Mekk-Knight cards. Alright, so your purple Nightfall on the field, you can banish it or banish another Mekk-Knight on the field to search for a Mekk-Knight from your deck. It then returns itself to the field during your next turn. We have your background removal and your yellow star, which just banishes dudes from your graveyard to pop cards on the field. We have your blue sky, which summons itself to the field and then adds cards to your hand equal to the amount of cards in the same column from your opponent. So they have 2 cards in the column, you summon it, you add 2 Mekk-Knights to your hand. Then we have your Indigo Eclipse. This thing can just move itself on the field and move other Mekk-Knights on the field to other different columns. Very, very useful effect, especially when we talk about the trap card in a minute. Then we have your Red Moon, it's just same as the Yellow Star, just pops monsters instead. Then we have your spell card, World Legacy's Memory. Very simple card, summons a Mekk-Knight from your deck straight to your field in defense position. Keep in mind though, you want to use this card only after you've used your whole Alistair Invoked stuff, because unfortunately, it does lock you into Mekk-Knights after you've used it, so you want to use this after you've done the Invoked portion of the deck list. Alright, then we have your World Legacy Secret. This card is the only way this deck goes first. It's an insane card, it's basically a skill drain. Any monster tries to use an effect inside the column one of your Mekk-Knight monsters, its effect is just negated. It is an insane card, and it also revives a Mekk-Knight back from the graveyard. So very commonly, you want to try to get this thing on the field in combination with this, so whenever your opponent tries to use something in the column, it gets negated. They place something in another column, you just move this to that column, and it just gets negated. So you'll see that plenty of times throughout the gameplay. Alright, as for extra deck, the only Mekk-Knight card is your Mekk-Knight of Morning Star. This thing, when it's on the field, can discard a card to search for one of your Mekk-Knight's spell or trap cards. Generally going to be searching for this. Also, additionally, it's sort of bonus effect a lot of people forget about. Your cards cannot be killed when they're in different columns from the monster they're battling with, if that makes sense. Basically, if something's not in the same column when it tries to beat over it, it won't be able to kill it. That'll make sense when you see it during the replays anyway. Plenty of my opponents forget about this because it's just not something people remember, so. And yeah, as for the rest of the deck list, the only other thing to mention is, of course, the Invoked stuff, which you've probably all seen before. We've now got Macabre, because Macabre just got unlimited, so it can be played in combination with the Trap card now, which is pretty good, because if you have a spell card in hand, you can actually defend the Trap card from MSTs and Cosmics, which is very important, considering this deck's entire Game 1 strategy, or first turn strategy, is based around the Trap card, so yeah, Macabre, just an Omni-Negate, depending on which monsters and stuff you have in hand. You've seen it before. And that's basically it for the deck list. I'm not too sure on the skill for this deck. I used to link Dark Rays just because I wanted to link to boost the attack of Purgatrio, but honestly, this skill wasn't that great. It was only realistically doing a 300 attack boost in most games. It's kind of hard to get a Link monster engraved and a Dark monster engraved with this deck. Sometimes you can do it if you put like a Link 1 Moon Maiden in the graveyard or something first or something, but I don't know. If there's a better skill, feel free to put suggestions in the comments, but that's just sort of what I went with. Alright guys, let's get into some replays. Alright, so today I've got 6 replays to share with you guys. Now unfortunately, most of these replays, if not nearly all of them, I think are going second, because this deck, it's just way better at going second than it is going first. Going first, it's really flimsy as it's super reliant on the trap card, and if the trap card gets hit by an MST or a Cosmic or just any sort of back row move whatsoever, the deck kind of falls apart going first. Going second, it's a hell of a lot more reliable. You'll see in these replays, you can kill through basically any meta deck going second. It is actually a functional deck going second. Going first, it's a lot harder, so if you're wondering whether or not this is going to be some new top tier meta defining strategy, probably not. Going first is just way too flimsy, but going second, it's definitely competent, and yeah, you'll see in these replays anyway, because you get a good understanding of just what exactly this deck can do. Alright, so I recorded most of these yesterday, so hopefully as we're watching them we'll sort of jog my memory as to what happens, but yeah, we'll see. Alright, so first up against the hero, and as far as I remember, this guy was very bad. So another good advantage about this deck is because it's so old, or at least the Mekk-Knight stuff is so old now, a lot of people don't remember exactly how to play through a lot of the Mekk-Knight stuff. Specifically in regards to this card, if you remove this card when it's using its effect, it just doesn't resolve. It's basically like getting it negated. So putting this thing on the field, a lot of the time your opponents just don't know to remove it, they just let it resolve, because they haven't played against this deck in ages, so you'll see anyway. A couple of opponents do remember. Some opponents like this guy, I think, just let it resolve and give me let me just search a bunch of cards. Alright. Of course, this is post-banless, by the way, so this is a nerfed hero. Quote-unquote nerfed. Alright, activating the effect, just going to spin Droplet rather than popping it, which is fine. You probably should have popped it though. Alistair going to be searching for my invocation. These two are going to come a Nightmare Phoenix to remove one of the back row. Unfortunately hitting MST instead of the Sewer Poly, so now we're going to have to go for... We won that 50-50, this game was completely done today. But that was a rough 50-50 actually. Going to have it to summon Macabre. Going to be adding back the Alistair to hand. Memory summoning a card to field, Nightfall going to be attempting to use the effect. For some reason he decides to try to pop the... Why did he not just Sewer Poly the Macabre before doing this, so I didn't get the option to negate his monster? I have absolutely no idea, completely through. Because now he sends out the Shining, I get to negate his monster, it gets banished. This swaps out, grabs up the monster like a pop his. Summon it to the field, pop his card. Of course, setting the back row so I can make a column, and he's just dead. So yeah, this guy's completely through. Alright. Typical hero players. But to be fair, if we won that 50-50 on the back row hit anyway, we 100% win the game from there, so it's mostly was just based on that 50-50. So we win the 50-50, we just do our invoke summon, make our big like Purgatrio or something, and then just summon a monster anyway with the spell card. He was so dead. Alright, up against Tri-Brigade. Now remember this game being a very good one actually. This is a really fun one. This still went for a couple of turns. So there's a whole lot of Tri-Brigading. Tri-Brigade's such an interesting deck in Duel Links. It's definitely a strong one, even without a skill. I guess that's just Tri-Brigade in a nutshell. That archetype is so strong. Alright, and passing. So summoning our Nightfall to the column, searching for our blue. Summoning blue to hopefully search for 2 cards. And this is like an example, by the way, of people not really knowing how to play against this stuff. Because if he just removes this, I don't get to search 2 cards, which I really shouldn't be allowed to add 2 cards to my hand from my deck. I can't summon this one, but I already had all the other Mekk-Knights in hand. Alright, summoning Eclipse, moving it over. I shouldn't have used the Eclipse effect there, had no reason to. I didn't think I was going to do a Link summon yet, but it's fine. Summoning Nightmare Phoenix, discarding a card to pop a back row. He had Eclipse there, he chose not to use it despite having... I don't know why he saved the Eclipse, he could just put both my Mekk-Knights face down, that's like my entire turn done, I don't know. He's going to have to use both these effects. He's going to remove both the monsters on the field. Making the Omen. Alright. Omen's not going to banish a monster. I'm going to use our Whip Memory to summon a guy to the field. These two are going to make my Morning Star. Morning Star discarding to grab the Trap card. Send the Trap card and can only be at one monster passing. So Morning Star's a very interesting monster for people that don't remember how this card works. Basically, if the monster it's battling is in the column with it, you can't kill it. So basically these two monsters at their current state are unable to kill the Morning Star by battle, which is really annoying. And this becomes even more annoying once you get a copy of this guy on the field, because this guy can move this to different columns, so they literally cannot kill it. Alright, tries to use the Navol. I'm going to use my World Legacy Secret to negate it. And then he tries to use Book of Eclipse to dodge the negate. That's not how this card works, as you're about to see. Easiest negate of my life. Yeah, he passed the turn because he knows that he can't swing into this. Because if he swings into this one, I just move it over. Can't kill it. Swing into this one, I just move it over. Oh, I didn't need to move it over. He can't kill it. So this guy knew how some parts of Mekk-Knight work, but he didn't know how like the trap card worked, or didn't know to flip the guy's face down or move it earlier. I don't know. Anyway. Spectral summoning the Mekk-Knight. Meltdown searching. I think I misplayed slightly here because I'm pretty sure I gave him an opportunity to banish a card if I think I read monster here from the field. Doesn't matter. Alright, Invocation, making the Purgatrio. Yeah, it doesn't matter because I've got to Mekk-Knight he's banned. I've got in the monsters banishing column. Column for the banishing monsters, whatever its name is. Out comes Purgatrio. Boosting the attack, adding the Alistair to hand. I don't particularly like the skill I'm using, by the way. It's actually not that often I have Elite Monster in the graveyard. You can easily get a Dark Monster in the graveyard because you just discard the Alistair to boost the attack of the monster. But if there's no Elite Monster in grave, you don't get the attack boost still. And most of the time I'm making Purgatrio, and Purgatrio is made using the Fire Link most of the time, so... I guess you get, if Artemis is still in the graveyard, you're probably still fine, but again, you might want to use that to make your Macabre. So maybe it's better most of the time if you're making Macabre to not use the Artemis just so you can keep a Link Monster in grave for the skill. I don't know, it's weird. There isn't really many good skills for this deck. I spent a while looking through skills to see if there's anything that seemed pretty good, but all of it just seemed really... yeah. You could probably honestly play Fluor with this deck if you wanted to. I just saw someone was playing the Draw 2 skill using that stupid monster. That stupid like 2500 attack monster. I'm not sure about that one. Maybe that actually is better than what I'm currently doing. An attack boost on Purgatrio is always valuable, so maybe it's just a better attack boost skill that I'm not aware of. That would have been really good for Purgatrio. It's like fire attack boost or something. So there might be. There was a they'll require fucking Link Monsters, though, don't they? Anyway, up against Predaplant. So Predaplant, the whole goal here is I just want to get Purgatrio on the field and try to kill him. Because if this duel drags on whatsoever, you are just dead. This deck grinds so hard. Actually, it grinds so hard, and when you have to attack directly, they negate your attacks all the time. So yeah, I just want to just Purgatrio kill him as soon as possible. Thank God he summoned Starling and not the other annoying bird that would prevent me doing damage to him. I don't know if he even runs it, but if he does, that would have been really, really annoying. I don't think it's even... Wait, I can't remember if it's limited or not. I think it is limited, but if he had summoned one that bounces too, that could have been annoying. I don't know why he summoned this one. Anyway, searching for my card, searching for another 2 cards from deck, it's going to negate this. And I can now summon this. Making a copy of Phoenix. Phoenix removing the only back row there. Now he has nothing left, I can just Meltdown, grab Alistair. And then we get 3 copies of Alistair. He's also a DD Crow in hand, but because of how we've got our setup here, we can actually play around DD Crow fairly well. He could have banished the... Actually, no, he couldn't, because the fire monster's still on the field. He literally couldn't stop this with DD Crow. So we can just summon out a Purga Trio. I think he does stop me getting the invocation back in the Alistair back into hand. We still have one in hand, so we just boost the attack of the dude on field. That is 4,600 attack. 4,100 attack, and that's lethal damage. Also take damage back as well, but we have boosted life points. Alright, up against Shark. Yeah, I think the best way to play Invoked is just to play the Fleur variation that I was playing the other week and just stuff Macabre into it. So I was already playing 2 wind monsters in the variation because I wanted to have a level 8 and a level 6 wind monster for your turn 1, but you realistically only need one of them, so there's definitely a slot for a Macabre there. I might even shove that in a video later this week or a live stream or something, that deck list, an updated version, people that are interested. I want to show off this one first, because a lot of people are getting a little bit sick of the amount of Fleur decks I'm posting on this channel. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Fleur is just the most fun skill in the game. That's going to trigger some commenters. Alright, normal summoning Alistair, forcing out a Veiler. Don't particularly mind too much. Here I was mostly just trying to get out Macabre to kill his back row before I start going into Mekk-Knight. Unfortunately, there's a second negate for this, which is actually really bad. I was hoping he didn't have anything. I was hoping he'd just use it on the Alistair. Only negates on the Alistair, but he already used one. Alright, summoning Purple Nightfall, banishing, grabbing a Yellow Star. Instead of summoning Yellow Star, popping the back row. Making a Morning. Grabbing the trap. And passing the turn. And then swinging in for good measure. Because yeah, this thing can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, as the shark had the sharks blow it. Which is fine, we have ways to out it, but we're just going to chill for now. Chill until we can actually summon ways to out it. Summons Ray Lancer, we're going to be summoning our dude the field to negate that. And here is a perfect example of this card in action, you'll see right now. Swings in, I move Eclipse. Can't kill it, can't kill it. You can only kill cards in the exact same column. Nightfall coming back, getting my Blue Sky. Blue Sky actually summoning Black Blue Sky, having no more Mekk-Knights in deck. Meltdown, he's going. I don't know why he needle sealing so early. Maybe he was scared I was going to summon Macabre, so he was going to do this regardless. I think I'm pretty sure that's why he did this, which makes no sense because. I mean, the likelihood I have a trap card in hand is so low, so... Not that it matters, I would have just summoned, Nightmare Phoenix before he'd done this, most likely. Okay, making a column, making a Macabre. Not gonna kill him this turn, but he literally can't play the game. This card is actually so annoying, because if he summons to any of these 3 zones, I just move this to the zone it's in and negate it, so... He's in a lot of trouble. Two level 8s, make a Dingirsu. Dingirsu remove the annoying monster, and he is dead. There's probably better ways to have played that game, but I think I played it alright. I don't know why he used his needle sealing so early. He should have definitely waited. Alright, where are we up to? So we just beat a shark player into another shark player. I think I remember this game. I think this shark player went for the more monster approach rather than a back row approach. It's kind of weird seeing a bunch of shark players, but I know shark is kind of good into hero because it's all water monsters, so it can't be super polyed. So that's probably why there's a few shark players on ladder. Just trying to avoid the few, well, I say few, the shitload of hero players on the ladder. right hand shark, summon back left hand shark, make him a behemoth. Can't summon Toad because there's no Toad in the game. Now that will be broken when that gets added. Alright, making the Wrath. Which once again can't be destroyed, I think? Or can't be battled or something? One of the two. Alright, he's going to be negating the purple. Special summoning the blue sky. He's going to negate that as well, but that's completely fine because this time around, I want him to negate everything that isn't Alistair, because Alistair just kills this. Especially with the amount of Alistairs I have in my hand, actually. So I'm going to make Nightmare Phoenix for no other reason other than to get a fire. Invocation, make Burger Trio. Add back, and then we're just going to boost the living shit out of this. Boom, boom, boom. We can even use our skill as well to boost it even further. And he's dead. Yeah, I should probably take another look at the skills and see if there's just one that boosts Purgatrio more, because Purgatrio is the only card you realistically need to boost most of the time. So there's like a fire boosting one that's a lot easier to resolve, and then maybe I should take a look at that. But life point boost too is pretty good as well. Just having a fat life point boost on your character is also nice, so I don't know. We'll see. The main point of this video is to show off the archetypes anyway. Alright, Alistair the Invoker searching for Invocation, making your Link 1. These two become your Morning Star. Morning Star you'll be discarding, grabbing hold of its secret. Invocation, summoning out your Macabre, putting the trap card in the field. And passing the turn. So this is what I mean by why this is kind of flimsy. This is one of those rare duels where we actually have a spell card in hand. If you don't have a spell card, a single MST on your trap card and your whole strategy is just kind of dead. So, I don't know. This is obviously a very powerful trap card, it's just, if it's gone, you don't really have much else. A single Macabre isn't going to defend you in the modern age. You really just need this trap card to stick on the field. Thankfully, it's kind of resilient to Super Poly though, because if you Super Polys either of these, it doesn't really matter which one he Super Polys. If you Super Polys this one, then it's fine, because then I still got the floodgates on the field. And if you Super Polys this, I just revive it from the graveyard, or revive this from the graveyard, and I still have Macabre, so it's kind of resilient to Super Poly at least. Alright, reviving my negate to stop his Stratos popping the back row. Use Super Poly on this card, because he doesn't want me to move the zones around, so we can use monster effects still, which is kind of interesting. Tries to use Polymerization. Thankfully we had a spell in hand, which is why we didn't set Macabre. And beat over my monster though. Then chose not to swing into this in case I boosted with Alistair. I think he should have swung into this, because I wasn't going to waste my Alistair on that. I was going to use Alistair for 100% on the following turn, so... Don't know why he wouldn't swing in. Either way, Alistair the Invoker, grabbing our Invocation. These two making a copy of Phoenix. Purple Nightfall summoning itself, grabbing red, red summoning itself, top card on the field. Summoning out a copy of the Fusion. Boom. Invoked, whatever this guy's name is, or go to blah 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 blah. Okay, he's dead. You're definitely not favoured in the hero matchup, that is for sure. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I might do another Invoked video tomorrow or the day after, showing off the other Invoked list with Fleur, which is definitely the way more prevalent, potentially meta strategy, especially considering the amount of tops it had in KC Cup, which was actually quite a few. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a lot stronger in that variation of the deck. But if you want to see a more Mekk-Knight Invoke strategy, this is what I wanted to show off today. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob? Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis. Oh.